Hello everyone. So in this video we are going to learn about the next kind of substitution ciphers, which is Playfair cipher. So from the previous substitution ciphers which we have learned, the basic thing which we have come across is that the same alphabet will be repeated or will be substituted with the same ciphertext. So here in that case, the cryptanalysis is little easier in case of multiplication ciphers and in case of additive ciphers like Julius Caesar cipher. So what happens is that a same letter will be replaced or substituted with the same ciphertext wherever it appears in that plain text. So it is easy to detect. So even if a large number of keys are used, then the security provided will not be very much for the previous substitution ciphers. So here we are going to learn about a new substitution cipher which is called as a Playfair cipher. Okay, so here in Playfair cipher, the importance or the relevance is that this is not a monoalphabetic cipher. That is, for every letter there will be a substitution in case of a previous two substitution ciphers, that is one mono alphabet. But here in this case, the same alphabet will not be having the same ciphertext throughout the plain text. Okay, so this is an approach that is used to improve the security. So even if you are using a large number of key in case of mono alphabetic ciphers like the multiplication ciphers and in the Caesar cipher, security cannot be provided. Like in the examples which we saw, for example the hello example which we saw, two L's are always substituted with the same letter in the plain text. But in case of Playfair cipher, it is an example of a polyalphabetic cipher. So in this approach, a security is being improved a little more. So this was invented by Charles Wheatson in the year 1854 and it was named after his friend Baron Playfair. Okay, so this is quite simple. The Playfair cipher is based upon a matrix. The matrix here is a 5 by 5 matrix, that is, it has got 5 rows and 5 columns, and it is based on a keyword. So instead of a key number that was used in case of a Caesar cipher and in case of multiplication cipher, here it is a keyword that is being used. Okay, so the first step which we have to do is to draw this matrix, 5 by 5 matrix. Now how do we fill the letters inside the 5 by 5 matrix? First we have to fill the letters of the keyword. For example, in this case the keyword is monarchy. Okay, so removing the repeated letters, monarchy is first written out in this cell. So MONARCHY in the row wise order, the keyword is repeated. This keyword is written but avoiding the repeated letters. Now here we are going to encrypt using plain text. So let's see how this keyword monarchy is used to encrypt the plain text. So first we will have to fill out the key matrix with the letters monarchy, and the remaining alphabets are used to fill up the matrix. That is MONARCHY is written, and then we are going to fill out the alphabetical sequence. So A we are not going to write because A is already covered in the key letter. Now next we have to write B, then C is also covered, so C is not written, then D, E, F, G, H is already covered in the key letter, I, you are not going to use J. So since there is only 25 cells, we have 26 letters. I and J will be sharing the same cell. So whether if it is I or J, it is the same cell. Okay, so if you have a letter J inside the keyword, then if you are writing J here, then you won't be writing I. That is, I and J, they will be sharing the same cell. Now K, L, likewise all the remaining letters in the alphabetical sequence are written down to fill out this key matrix. Okay, so this is the matrix which we are going to use in this Playfair encryption mechanism. So using this matrix, the plain text which we are going to encrypt is instrument. Okay, the first step in the plain text encryption is to split the plain text into two letters or digraphs. Digraphs means pair of letters. So here let's see the example. Say instruments is now split into two letters each, INSTRUMENT and S, instrument. But since every letter should have a pair letter, S doesn't have a pair, so you add a letter Z to make it into a digraph. So you have to remember this step. If while dividing your plain text you are not exactly getting a digraph, then you have to add a buffer letter Z to make it into a digraph, so that the last pair is also generated. So likewise, the first step is to split these plain text and make it into pairs. Now the second step is, now we are going to look into our metrics and then determine. Okay, so first we are taking the first split, that is in. Okay, so the first we are going to see the rules that are now used for encryptions. Okay, now the first rule is that if both the letters are in the same column. Okay, so for example, let's see the digraph. Suppose you have a digraph ME. So we will solve this example later. First we will define the rules. So this is rule number 1. If the digraph letters both are lying on the same column, see for example the digraph ME. So M is in the column 1 and E is also in this column. So this is first column, second, third, fourth and fifth. Okay, so if the letters in the digraph remain in the same column, then you have to take the letter just below each one. So the letter that comes below M is C and the letter that comes below E is L. So C and L will be the ciphertext for the plain text letters M and E. Now suppose you will have a doubt, what if the letters were L and U? That is, if suppose the digraph was L and U. In that case, the letter that L and U is also on the same column. So the same rule applies for that. So which letter comes below L, which is U? So L is replaced by U. And which letter comes below U? There is no letter. So you have to go back to the first letter in the column. This is like a cycle that is repeated. So the first letter that comes after U is M. So U will be replaced by M. Okay. So understood the row rule. That is, if the digraph letters are in the same column, then the letters are replaced with the letter just below that. So that is rule number 1. Now the second rule, now if both letters are in the same row. So suppose this is row 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Okay, so now consider a digraph ST. Okay, so S and T, as you can see, it lies in the same row. So if that is the case, then you have to take the letter to the right of each one. Okay, so which is the letter that comes to the right of S? It is T. And which is the letter that comes to the right of T? There is no letter, so you do a right rotation and you get L here. So S is replaced by T and T is replaced by L. Okay, so understood the row rule. Okay, so the first case we saw the column rule when the two letters are in the same column. Next rule is that the same letters lies on the, that is the digraph letters lies in the same row. And now we have to see the third case when both these letters are not either in the same row or not in the same column. Then what will you do? Okay, then you have to form a rectangle with the two letters and take the letters on the horizontal opposite corner of the rectangle. Okay, so consider the digraph N and T. N is in the third column and T is in the fifth column. Okay, similarly N is in the first row and here T is in the fourth row. So it is not in the same column or not in the same row. So in that case, you have to draw an imaginary rectangle covering the two letters in that digraph. Okay, so N and T, you drew an imaginary rectangle and you have to take the letters that comes on the opposite corner of this rectangle. So which is the alphabet that comes on the opposite corner of the rectangle? R. And which is the alphabet that comes in the opposite corner of T? Which is Q. So N is replaced by R and T is replaced by Q. So this is the basic principle that is used in Playfair cipher. So once again, I'll just repeat on a go. So first step you have to do is, using the keyword, you have to draw a 5 by 5 matrix. So here the keyword was monarchy, and using that monarchy I have drawn a 5 by 5 matrix here. So first you have to write down all the letters in that keyword in a row wise order without the duplicates, so removing the duplicates. Okay, and after that you are going to fill out the remaining alphabets in the alphabetical sequence. Remember that you are not writing down J or I and J will share the same cell. So you are writing all the 25 alphabets in this specific sequence, and it is based on this key matrix you are going to apply the rules. The first rule is to check whether you have then the next thing you have to do is to split the plain text letters and make it into digraphs, and take each digraph and check for the 3 rules, that is whether they lie in the same column. If they lie in the same column, take the letter that comes just below it. If they lie in the same row, take the letters that comes after that. And if they are not lying in the same column or in the same row, what you have to do is you have to draw an imaginary rectangle and just take the letters that comes on the opposite corner of the rectangle. Now we'll come back to our example instruments, which was divided into digraphs, and then since the last digraph didn't have a pair, you added a Z letter, which was a buffer letter that has been added. Okay, now we are going to see the encryption of it. So the first digraph, that is IN. Okay, so I and N doesn't follow the first same row or same column rule. So I and N is being on the rectangle, or you can draw an imaginary rectangle. So which letter comes in the opposite corner of the rectangle? For I it is G, and for N it is A. So G and A is the ciphertext respectively. Next digraph is S and T. S and T comes on the same row, so you're just replacing with the letter that comes on the right side. So S is replaced by T, and T is replaced by a circular right shift letter L. Okay, so T and L. Now next digraph is R and U. R and U also, as you can see, it doesn't lie in the same column or in the same row. So you're going to draw an imaginary rectangle like this. And which letter comes in the opposite corner of that letter R? It is M. Which letter comes in the opposite corner of the letter U? Which is Z. So R is replaced by M and U is replaced by Z. So you have covered the next digraph also. Now we are taking the next digraph, M and E. M and E lies in the same column, so it is just beneath the letter is being taken. So beneath the letters are being taken. So M and E, which is replaced by C and L. So that is also over. Now N and T. N and T is again not in the same row or not in the same column. So you draw a rectangle and you take the alphabets that comes on the opposite corner of the rectangle. So N is replaced by the letter R and T is replaced by the letter Q. So N and R is R and Q. Now the last digraph, S and Z. S and Z also doesn't form a same row or same column. So what you have to do, there is a small rectangle that gets formed here. S is replaced by T and Z is replaced by X. So this is how you get the Playfair cipher, to get the ciphertext using Playfair cipher. Okay, so this is the encryption process. Now how do you do the decryption? It is as simple as doing the same process but in the reverse order. So receiver will have the same key. So it is the same key that is being used, monarchy itself, and the ciphertext. So the receiver side will be shared with the same key and the ciphertext. Using this, he have to get back the plain text. So it is the same step that is being used. first step is to create that 5 by 5 matrix in the receiver end. So receiver end will also create the same 5 by 5 matrix. Obviously he will get the same matrix because the rule is the same. The first row wise it is used to fill the keyword, and the remaining alphabetical elements are being filled in the row wise order without having a special cell for J. So this is how the matrix is generated. Now the what you will do is, now you have the cipher text. This is the cipher text. The same cipher text you are applying the digraph rule, that is you are splitting each of them into two elements each and then making a digraph out of it. And then we will see the decryption step. The decryption step is again the same thing but in the opposite order. That is, you are checking for the elements in the same column. Now if the elements are in the same column, for example the digraph C and L, so C and L, so if they are in the same column, you will take the alphabet that just lies above each one. In encryption it was below, here in decryption it is above. That is the only difference. Take the letter above each one. So for CL it is M and E. Now what if the case was M and C? Suppose the digraph was M and C. In that case, which is an alphabet that lies above M? There is no alphabet lying above. So you will have to do a circular shift. That is, U is the letter that lies above M, or in the circular shift. And which is the letter that lies above C? It is M. So it is M. So MC digraph, when it is decrypted, you will get U and M. So it is just in the same method is used here but in the opposite direction. Similarly, in the case if the letters are in the same row, if it is in the same row also, instead of shifting to the right, here in decryption the letters are shifted to the left. For example, T and L. Okay, so T and L. So T and L, the letter that represents, that lies on the left side of the T is S, and the letter that lies in the left hand of L is like no letter is there, so you do a circular shift to get back the T. So T is replaced by S and L is replaced by T. L is replaced by T because you're doing a left circular shift. Okay, so this is how you're doing the decryption. Now the same rule for the rectangle also, that is, if the two letters are not in the same row or in the same column, we will take the horizontal opposite corner letters. So here there is no difference, you're just taking the horizontally opposite corner letters. That is N if digraph R and Q, then the letters in the opposite corner N and T are respectively taken. It is the same for encryption and decryption. Only in case of same row and same column, you have to apply in the reverse direction for decryption. Okay, so here the same example, it has been shown for decryption, that is GA. So consider GA that lies in the same, that doesn't lie in the same row or the same column. So you have to draw a rectangle and this A is replaced by N and then G is replaced by I. So you get the IN. Then TL is there. So TL lies in the same row. So TL, how it can be written? So T is that element that lies on the left, and for L it is a left circular shift. So it is S and T. Now MZ. MZ doesn't lie in the same row or column, so you have to draw a rectangle. So rectangle and then get the letters that are in the opposite direction. Okay, so in the horizontally opposite. So the letter M is replaced by R and Z is replaced by U. So you get R and U. Now again C and L, which lies in the same column. So just above letter has been taken. So that is M and E. Now R and Q is again under not in the same column or not in the same row. So you have to draw a rectangle and take the horizontally opposite letters, okay, which is N and T. Now T and X forms a small rectangle here, so which is S and Z. So this is here. So once you write down this instruments, you will have an Z letter which is extra when you decrypt it, but definitely you will get the meaning of the plain text what it is meant, and then the recipient will understand that Z was a buffer element that was added in order to make this PlayFi cipher work properly. So it is the duty of the recipient to remove that Z and take the actual plain text from it, because it is understood that this Z is a buffer element which was added in order for the proper functioning of the PlayFair cipher. So this is how PlayFair cipher has been done. So this is another example just to show that in case what happens if repeated alphabets are present, then how will you apply this PlayFair cipher rule. So consider the example jump by wall. Okay, now the keyword that is used is ignore. So I have drawn a key matrix using ignore, the letters in the ignore, and then I have filled out all the alphabets in the alphabetical sequence, okay, without filling J, okay, because I is already been filled, so this J is using the same cell as here, okay. Now how will you do this jump by wall encryption? You have to perform by splitting these letters into two each, that is digraphs are being created, jump by wall. So when you split, there will be two L's here. So in that case, when the repeated letters are there, then you have to add an additional buffer letter in place of that repeated letter. So this is also a small modification that is done in the PlayFair cipher. If same letters are there, then you can't apply the PlayFair cipher, right? So in order to apply that PlayFair cipher rule, if repeated letters are there, you will have to just replace that repeated letter with a buffer letter which is generally used X. So the X is the buffer letter that is generally used in order to replace with the repeated letters. Now you will apply the same rule as above. For JU, let's see. For JU, there is no J, so you will take I here. So I and U will form the corners of a rectangle. So you will take the alphabets in the opposite corners, that is R and P. Similarly, M and P is also not in the same row or the same column. So you will take the alphabets that lies on the opposite corners of the rectangle. Similarly, B and Y, that is again another rectangle B and Y. So you take the alphabets that comes in the opposite corners. Then W and A forms in the same side of or the same column. So what you will do is you will replace with the letter that is coming just after that, okay. So after W there are no letters, so it is just a jumping to the first letter in the column, and after A it is H. So WA is replaced by GH. Now last one is L and X, which again doesn't form in the same row or the same column. So you draw an imaginary rectangle and then you take the letters in the opposite direction. So this is how you solve a PlayFair cipher. You can use PlayFair cipher for encryption and decryption. Decryption uses the same steps as that of the encryption or the same rules, but in the reverse order. So hope it is clear for you. That's all with the substitution ciphers, that is based on polyalphabetic substitutions. That is, each letter can have a different substitution. So how is that polyalphabetic substitution being explained here? See, for example, this one here. T is a letter that comes in that plain text, which is replaced by L one case, and again when T is coming, it is replaced by another letter Q. So here it is clear that for same letters you are having different substitutions. So that makes it polyalphabetic substitution. Okay, this is a polyalphabetic substitution example. Hope that's clear for you. Thank you.